Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge Season 3. Today's race, we're going to be in Vålerbanen, Norway, and that's for round 5 of the World Touring Car Challenge Championship. Today, we'd like to thank our main sponsors, Apex Tracks, Motorsport and Motor Racing Circuit Wall Art Racetrack Sculpture, manufactured using F1, Formula 1, motorsport-inspired rapid prototype technologies. And we also want to thank our other sponsors, 603 Autosport, 3D Wrap, Track Racer, Digital Motorsport, Esports Sim, and the GP Box. Today we have Dean Biggles in the booth. My name is Michael David, and we're broadcasting to you from the JP Broadcasting team. This series in today's race is broadcast live to Crest Autosport TV on YouTube. Welcome along wherever you're watching around the world. Please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell to be notified of all our videos and broadcasts. So today we are here in Norway, in Vålerbanen, and we have a full track layout of 2.3 kilometers, that's 1.46 miles. It cost about $2.51. I apologize for my American. £2.51 there. We have 10 turns, 7 to the left and 3 to the right. And we are going to be hosting where they have used previously the Swedish Touring Car Championship from 2004 to 2009. Now this track is about an hour and a half, about 2 hours to the northeast of the Oslo, capital of Norway. And let's see here. Coming up today, we're going to have 3 races. We got our qualifying race, which sets the grid for race 1. That's going to be about 15 minutes of qualifying. Race 1 is a 15-minute race, grid based on the qualifying results. From there, we're going to do a reverse top 12 grid based on the results of race 1. That second race is 15 minutes as well, and the third race is our final. We got a 20-minute race that is based on race 2 results, reverse grid for the top 18. So whoever wins the second race is going to start 18th. Now we have a breakdown of our cars. We have the Alfa Romeo Giulietta, Audi R3 Le Mans. We have our Cupra Leon Competition, Honda Civic, the Hyundai Elantra, and the Lynk & Co. 03. Each manufacturer has 6 seats available for the entrance, totaling 30 cars and seats available. Now today we have our previous race results. We have Nanad won our first race last week, followed by Alex Everitt in second and Artem Markov in third for Category 1. Category 2 in race 1 was Reno Schneider, Alex Ward, and Ricardo Santos. And then Category 3 we have Pedro Santos, Archie Beresford, and Craig Deakin. Race 2 results, we had Alex Everitt winning with second place of Geoff Purkiss and a third place of Varga Gabor, with Category 2 coming in with Ricardo Santos taking the top spot, followed by Remo Schneider and Alex Ward. Category 3 we had Archie Beresford, Carl Smith, and Craig Deakin. Race 3 saw Vlad Tatara take the win with Alex Everitt second, Ian Deeney third. Category 2 was Ryan Hand, Remo Schneider in second, and then Fabio Gill in third. And then Category 3 saw Pedro Santos take the win with Craig Deakin and Adam Locke following up on the podium. So coming up today, let's see here, we have our championship, Category 1 championship standings. We have Alex Everitt taking the top spot with 185 points. Vlad Tatara in second with 140. Geoff Purkiss in third with 123 points. Artem Markov coming up in fourth with 116 points, and 6 points behind him is Ian Denny. And let's see here, we also have Neil Crave, and then 6th spot. So Category 2 here, we have Alex Ward with the top spot of 167 points. Remo Schneider in second with 151 points. Norbert Juhász in third with 145 points, Ricardo Santos in fourth with 128 points, and Elliott House in fifth from Come To You Racing with 113 points. Then for our Category 3, we have Craig Deakin taking the lead here with Liquid Molly, 168 points. Stephen Labon, Next Gen Racing Gold, and 154 points is second. Anastasios Georgiadis, I messed that up, I apologize, 141 points, and Gabriel Lopez in fourth with 128 points, and Rui Sousa I apologize, for 5th for 112 points. Alright, so the success ballast is going to be carried over into round 5, so our championship leader, Alex Everitt, is going to be taking the full 40 kilograms. Nanad, since he took 2nd last week, will be running 35 kilograms. Remo Schneider is going to be taking 30 kilograms. Ian Deeney taking 25 kilograms. Geoff Purkiss also taking 25 kilograms. Vlad Tatara taking 15. Alex Ward taking 10. And Fabio Gil taking 5. Now, the overall championship, the Cupra is going to be added with 5 kilograms of ballast. The Alfa Romeo is going to have 4. The Lincoln Co. will have 3. The Audi will have 2. The Hyundai will have 1. And the Honda in the back with 0 kilograms. Now, our championship points by team, Ukrainian club K-Mark Sim Racing 2 is in the lead with 923 points. Next Gen Racing Blue is second with 860 points. We have Mulsan 19 with 846. Ukrainian club K-Mark KMAMK Sim Racing 1 with 840 points. And the HVML team with 5th, 822 points. Crest Autosports with Apex Tracks, 804 points in 6th. Next Gen Racing Gold in 7th with 675 points. Our Audi Privateer in 8th with 630 points. 958 Centero in 9th with 602 points. And FMS Fizzgas Motorsport in 588 points, rounding up 10th. Now the Cupra is in the lead with 2,000 points. The Alfa Romeo right behind with 1,998 points. Lincoln Co. just shortly behind there in 3rd place with 1,983 points. Audi is following that up in 4th place with 1,786 points. The Hyundai with 1,678 points, and the Honda in the very back of the pack with 1,099 points. This week we are at Vålerbanen. Next week we are going to be at the Norse Ring for round 6. That is going to be the 25th of August. Round 7th will be in Silverstone. Round 8 will be back in Donington Park. We'll be back in Silverstone for round 9, and round 10 we're going to end up at Brands Hatch. Alright, so I would like to bring on now my co-host for the evening. We have Biggles. Biggles, how are we doing today?
I'm excited up here in Norway. Never been up at this part of the world. Just had lots of friends, of course, that I have that come from this neck of the woods. But this is going to be interesting. Absolutely glad to have you in the booth here for the first time, Michael. Be able to call out all the action because we're going to have about 30 cars, as you can see there, in this race this evening. Or the races, plural, of course, triple of them, 3 of them, as you mentioned.
Yeah, we're going to have 3 races tonight. The first race is going to be decided by qualifying, so we'll have our qualifying right now. We're finishing up practice. We have about 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes left to practice. Then we're going to go to our 15-minute qualifying session, which will set the grid for the first race, which is a 15-minute race. Our second race is going to be a grid flip, so the top 12 finishers of the first race will flip their positions, and that'll set the grid for the second race. And the third race is going to be our 20-minute final. That is going to set the grid, or the second race will be a flip race for 18th place, which will set the grid. So yeah, like you said, I've never been here before. I'm very excited. It's a very, very interesting track, a very short track times, as we see here. Rostance going with the purple overall lap here, 55 seconds, 0.609. Anything that you have noticed about this track while you were looking it up this week?
I haven't actually noticed a lot. That's the problem with myself. I'm not a driver. I've never driven around any of these tracks before. I've probably driven into some of the old, very classic ones, but none of the ones really that we have here.
Yeah, this is actually a very interesting track. I did a little bit of research. Let me pull up my notes here. Now, this track does have a twin life, so when it's not being used as a racetrack, it's actually being used for other reasons. They do practice driving for everyday drivers. Buses and trucks all come here. They also do their classics and sports car meets. But it is a multi-use facility. Now, the racetrack itself is generally only used as a racetrack, but it has multiple different configurations that are used by the everyday public, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Interlagos in Brazil. That's also a track you could go in, use as kind of like a park. You can ride around it with your bike, you can walk around it, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Unless it's a race weekend, and any of the race weekends, then of course it's closed. But it's good to be absolutely open like that. I'm not sure if you could do that at Silverstone or many other tracks in the UK. Probably
Yeah, I'm not
right?
sure. I think there's certain tracks here in the United States that you can, but I'm not sure about the UK, to be completely honest
that's
with
right.
you.
I forgot you're from the US, of course. You're not from the UK. Get it right.
I'm on the wrong side of the pond here.
We're in the same time zone. There's not too many people, none of these drivers that are here that are in our time zone, really, that I can see. Our time zone being the Americas.
Yeah, well, I do know that it's evening time over there in the UK. So for afternoon for me and you, it's late night evening time for them. So.
Oh, here we go. Gabriel here, Lopez. But he's in Colombia, so he should be coming around our time zone, just right on there. Actually,
Hey,
just realised.
There you go.
Yeah, he's closest to me, about an hour flight. Gabriel. I've been to a couple of places in Colombia too. It's beautiful.
Oh, I've heard that is nice there. Beautiful.
So that's it for our practice session. So it seems to be Fraser's the one that's topped the timesheets. Of course, it's only practice. But that goes to show you that he may be the man to look out for around here when we get ready for our first qualifying session.
We are going to have a full field of entrants today, so with this tight track and short track, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very important to keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble as much as you can, but unfortunately I don't think we're going to have a clean night of racing. Not necessarily a dirty night, but just there's going to be some cars that are going to be a little too close together. It's just the nature of this type of track. As we see here, Fraser coming out, getting past on the first lap.
Came out early too, out of the gate immediately, but he's just backing off here a second. We'll go on board with him so we can get an idea. Welcome everybody in the chat. I'm reading it. This track is new for me. That's Ghostly. Ghosts out there with a nickname, of course. Thank you for tuning in. I'll try to read it as much as I can. Sure, Michael will be able to as well if we get a chance to look over at the chat, because most of the time with the action, with especially 30 drivers, it's going to be very difficult. But we'll try to keep an eye on it when we can, of course, because without you guys watching out there, it's not as much fun. What do you also think about this one, Michael? Like, what was I going to say? Actually, I've lost my... We have actually just mentioned before there from the boss, Mr. Alex, had mentioned to us that there is a bunch of new drivers too, so that's going to be very interesting, as we're not going to be quite sure what their pace is.
We're not going to be sure how their pace is, and also overtaking is going to be quite interesting. When you get into these league races, you get used to the drivers, you get used to everybody's, pace, like you said, but also their driving habits. When you throw in some new drivers, that just kind of throws everything out the window. You don't know how aggressive they're going to be, how not aggressive they're going to be, and it just becomes a bit of a guessing game. So with a short track like this, a tight track, I'm going to be interested to see how strong the draft is. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of long straights, but it'll still be interesting to see how strong the draft is going to be and where the best overtaking points are going to be. Robert Stoughton coming through here on a quick lap. You see Fraser's going purple overall, so he's got a set a time of 56.091. And that moves him into second place as Mark Makarov has taken over first. Total time of 55.765. We're seeing more and more cars setting times now.
Austin is from the US. We grew up on oval tracks and NASCAR. Oh, is that you, Austin? That's chatting. The Austin that I know. Yeah, did you, that's good, this one for you, Michael. Are you an oval fan, an IndyCar fan, NASCAR, what?
When I was a kid, I used to really like NASCAR. Grew up watching it with my grandfather and whatnot. I don't follow it as much now. I'm more of a road racing type, although I do love a nice dirt oval race.
Just classic dirt ovals,
nothing like it. Yeah, classic dirt ovals, there's nothing like going to your local track and just hanging out and, just smelling all the oil and the grit in your teeth. It's just an experience that if you've never been, you got to try it at least once. But for me personally, I like to, I follow Formula One, follow Porsche Cup. I'm into the road racing, but this track is almost like an oval to an extent. You know, it's 10 turns, but it's 7 to the left and 3 to the right. Or did I have that? Yeah, 7 to the left and 3 to the right.
Are you a Watkins Glen, Road America?
Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
Actually, I have family up in Western New York. So yeah, I do love Watkins Glen. I'm excited. Excited for next weekend. I am going to watch that race. Is it the Iceman coming into NASCAR?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's going to be racing. Yeah, he's going to be racing Watkins Glen next week. So that's going to be exciting.
Cool.
Yeah, I do follow some Indy, but not as much. Like I said, I'm mainly more into Formula One and Porsche Cup. I personally have a Porsche Cup league that I drive in myself.
Nice.
I just love Porsches.
You drive in the Porsche Cup, as in the real Porsche Cup you're driving?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's virtual. Yeah. I'm not a very fast racer. I don't want to put the wrong vibe out there.
Or have to put your Porsche to the fence as well too. I'd have to pay for it.
One day I do plan on buying a Porsche, but that day is not gonna be anytime soon.
So both of our Ukrainians of Markov and Tatar, if I get that one correct, Tatara, yeah, they've got up into slotting into P2, P3 currently at the moment. Fraser is once again, so he's continued from his practice pace and is on the top of the timesheets. We still have 9 minutes left to qualifying.
We have Nenad Vladislavic in fifth there.
Yes.
Yeah, Nenad, I do apologize. I am trying to pronounce your name correctly. I'm not sure if too many people have seen his YouTube video, but that is such an impressive man there.
Really?
His setup is they did an interview with him last year, and if you haven't seen it, please look it up. It is phenomenal. I'll go ahead before this is over. I'll go ahead and repost that link. Very, very impressive. Very, very, very impressive. He's right along here with Fabio Gil, Team Mulsanne. He's got green sectors.
I was going to say, everybody has set a time, I think, actually, apart from one driver, which it looks like a driver from Cyprus, still in the pit lane. Georgiadis. Galega, I think his name is. Once again. Don't worry about it. Guys know that I'm the Biggles butcher of names, so that's just it. Dean Biggles, I just butcher everybody's name. We're all used to it, but it's at least my my other casters with me here don't do a better job than me. So I rely on you guys, yourself and James. So, and I know you're new, so
James does a great job. I am new, so I do apologize if I mess up any names. I am struggling with them. I'm trying to get them right. We see here Carl coming around with the 56.908. Carl Smith is up into, where he's spot. He's in 24th place at the moment, so about 1.2 seconds off as we see Gil going up into 23rd place here. So yeah, we have Markov and Tatara just a couple tenths behind Rostance here.
I'm going to keep an eye on the boss for a second and see how Alex is going, see if we can get his qualifying performance up a little bit more.
Currently in 8th place. He's 4 tenths off the lead. He just dropped to 9th. He jumped up ahead of him.
Robert just, I think Robert just got that one. Neil Crave's up there in P6. So familiar names that you're starting to see in this championship. Road America is where Ghostly lives. Near. Cool. Big up for the stream. Big up the stream from the grid, Robert was just mentioning. Where are you, Robert? Yeah, you're on P8, Robert. So, do you feel that's a good position you may be starting? It's qualifying at. If you're having a bit of a chat to us, so we've still got time to get a lap in. How high up do you think you can get,
Steve
Robert?
Vesky going into 7th here. Great lap. 0.348 tenths off.
I got a name for you to pronounce right here. I think this is a new one of our drivers. It's a Dutch driver.
Giomaro. Juhász. Yeah.
That's a very. I apologize, but it's not a very typical Dutch name. But then again, I don't know what would be a typical Dutch name actually.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna see if I can find a pronunciation for that. I do not like to pronounce people's
We do have a
names
local,
correct.
well, this is a Danish driver of Jorgen. I think that's how you pronounce that correctly. I just want to
Yeah,
see where the
Jorgen.
locals are. Let's have a look. We do have one local, and at the moment, he's plump last with a time. And this is the man, this is it, yeah, this is the man that probably grew up, probably not too far away from this track. I mean, Norway is a big country, of course, but mainly the population areas surrounding Oslo. Oh, and a collision.
What happened there?
You're going to be very careful if you do bump into the Norwegians here, because you're going to have to leave the track, okay? So the crowd might not, you might not be a fan favorite if you take out one of the local hero drivers.
See, Mike for everybody pass. That's actually going to be quite an interesting issue that they're going to have as well if they go off track here later into the race as our field gets stretched out.
Well, it was like Ian up into P2 now. It was like that in Brazil, wasn't it? When Hamilton won the championship, they were a bit scared of Abino beating Massa, because the local Brazilian hero. They were a little bit scared of getting Hamilton out there, quite, because Brazilians obviously fanatical sports fans, and of course having one of your local hero just losing out by 1 point can be a bit gut wrenching.
To be fair, the British are quite fanatical in themselves.
Yeah, true.
For us Americans,
So Robert said he's not going to go any quicker. Well, Robert, yeah, P9, so be inside that. Hopefully, starting in that top 10. But yeah, middle of the field pack. You're going to be in the middle of the pack anyway, somewhere along the line here. Sometimes I think I'd rather be either at the front or at the very back. Sometimes being in the middle is always the luck of the draw, isn't it? Because an accident.
Robert, how do you feel about overpassing here? How do you feel about overtaking opportunities? Any specific turns that you've noticed so far that might be better than others?
Roberts can communicate in Morse code. I'm still waiting for some of the drivers to use the voice-to-text bot so they can chat to us whilst they're driving. So all 31 drivers have put a time in, and I'm very unfortunate to say, well, we've got about 4 minutes of qualifying, but our Norwegian driver, I forgive me, I pronounce his first name, it's Mr. Anderson, put it that way. He's plump last. What is he just sandbagging maybe? Just waiting for the final minute or something to shine and put this car right up the top of the timesheets?
I mean, our reverse grid races are going to be very interesting today,
Yes,
with how
they
tight
will.
and packed this track is and how short it is. So Robert's saying if you get the run out of the double right, definitely is the best spot on the track. I can see that. All right, that makes sense. Let's see here. As Markov has actually gone into first with a time of 55.488.
Yep. These these Ukrainian drivers are quick. Him and his teammate there, they work together tangents. Look out for those blue cars. They do have. That's the blue livery.
Last week was my first time watching the race here, and you could see those two blue cars working together very well, very well as they were basically
awesome.
tag teaming the field.
Yeah, once they start blocking together, it's very difficult to overtake. Of course, once again, it's legal. They're allowed to. It's very difficult. It has been one of those races where they've basically both made a mistake and allowed cars to go through. So that's the only problem when you're going tooth and nail working together like that as teammates. One makes a mistake and all of a sudden both make a mistake. But when they do make it work and work together in tangent, it's very difficult for the other drivers to get past them.
Yeah,
And
I wonder.
always hovering, mate, around the, third, fourth places, second, third, fourth, always hovering around there.
I'm taking a look here at the Category 1 standings. We got Vlad in second with 45 points behind Alex Everitt, our championship leader. And you have Frazier all the way back in. Oh, I'm sorry, not Frazier. We have Markov all the way back in fourth with 69 points behind. Is there any team orders, do you think? Do you think they kind of both go for it?
Not yet, I would say. Not yet, because we're only just on halfway through the championship. I think maybe as you get towards the end of it, maybe you can see how they just work together. Once again, it just allowed Vlad his teammate just allowed him to go through, so he can get a little bit of a run here. It's almost got a blocker behind him right now, blocking that car, but even though it's only qualifying.
We got Artem Markov.
Yeah, Artem, he's in the pit lane.
Okay.
And you can see there's other teammates. That's just basically all the blue livery cars, if you want to see. There's another one here. So they're not all Ukrainians. We've got a Croatian here. We have a Swiss driver as well for the team. And then we have a couple of the DHL cars. You have to look out there for another Croatian driver. Can't really miss them. DHL, do they deliver on time? Well, you better be delivering these track laps times on time. There you go.
Follow the net around. See if we could get a little... Oh, he got a little loose there coming through.
Vlad, yes, this will be interesting. See, because they're out on track. They have... That's it. I was going to say, I don't think there's much more time to go here.
50 seconds left here.
Yeah, you're going to have to go through these qualifying results pretty quickly, my friend, because there's not going to be a great deal of time they're going to allow you to read through.
Not a problem. We do see that Rostance has gone into first again. So that's going to be a very interesting battle between the first and second place here.
There we go.
All right, we have Fraser Rostance taking the pole with a time of 55.472. Artem Markov in second place with a time of 55.488. Ian Denny takes third. Fourth is Nenad Vladisavljevic. Vlad Tatara in fifth. Neil Crabe in sixth. Gabor Varga in seventh. Dandor Hervesi in eighth. Robert Stoughton in ninth. Alex Everitt in 10th. Rory O'Shea in 11th, Remo Schneider taking 12th, Adam Locke in 13th, Norbert Juhász in 14th, Fabio Gil takes 15th, Stephen de Gavlier in 16th, Ricardo Santos in 17th. This is Gimoro Guaponusa. I am so sorry, I'm butchering your name, in 18th, Anthony Hobbs in 19th. Yeah. And I didn't get through there. I was taking too long.
You won't. But you know what? I take it. Well, we didn't get the bottom ones anyway, but I will show you really quickly there while we're getting a little bit of a warm-up. I've learned to kind of capture it here for us to have a look at. Of course, it's only the top 20, but it's better than nothing.
Well, we got Anthony Hobbs in 18th, Remo Schneider in 19th, and Jorgen Peterson in 20th. So, I mean, those times up at the front, we got 55.4, 55.4, 55.6, 55.6, 55. You know, everybody is within 4/10 down to 8th place, 5/10 down to 9th place almost.
I'd say it'd be a second separating down to probably 20th place. So 30th place, I mean.
This is going to be interesting. It's a short track. It's definitely going to be a fun race here. I say good luck to everybody. And once again, thank you everybody that's watching our stream here. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and click the notifications so you can find out whenever we're online.
I haven't hit that like button yet. Let me get that done. Bang. There you go. Then we make it to 3.
Let's make it 4.
It's my lucky number. All right.
Oh, sorry. I'll take the peck.
That's fine. So, there we go. I can't pull up a track map again. For some reason, just having little bits of issues with that. Every time I click the button, it just does not want to cooperate. But, it is what it is. You've got the tools to work with. I'm sure the drivers know the track pretty well, mate. They've done quite a few laps around them.
Yeah, 15-minute.
Ooh, what was it saying? Connection. I might have dropped out again. Yeah, the connection should be re-establishing again in a second. Yeah, okay, apologies about that. I am on a backup internet.
We have 55 seconds left before our green flag here.
I need them to load under the grid here because I can't select anything right now, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm on a backup internet because my primary internet went down, so my backup internet better not go down because I haven't got a backup. I don't think I'm going to invest in 3 internets.
I think that might be a little much.
They're just loading up at the moment. Hopefully, I can be able to select the cars in a second.
I would like to shout out to our sponsors one more time before we begin here. Apex Tracks, Motorsport and Motor Racing Circuit Wall Art Racetrack Sculptures.
All right. You get ready to call this one, mate, because we're about ready to go rolling around Norway.
All right. They're all lined up on the grid. Everybody's ready to go. And there's our race start. And here we go. Oh, we have a little contact on the 3rd row there. It's between Tatara and Markov taking the lead here in the first turn through the chicane, followed closely by Rostons and Nenad Vladisevljevic. We got Ian Denny coming up. Coming to turn 3 here, into turn 4, and it looks like we've already kind of gone into a nice little single file train of cars here. We see the top 3 running along with the nod and that DHL livery, as you said.
Yeah, further back this, we're a little bit spicy in the midfield here.
Remo Schneider taking the inside here on Staten. Robert is holding him off pretty well. It's a little tight there, though. That's what we were saying. It's going to be interesting finding clean spots to pass here. I feel like there's going to be quite a few...
Oh, yeah. Here's a possible overtake here from Norbert. Norbert, 14 car. Just to the left here has the Belgian driver of Steve. These are not the best camera angles, unfortunately, they're giving us today. Just don't see too much of the front of the cars. We seem to be everything behind. Can't do much about that at this point.
Further down the field, we see Craig Deakin here. Looks like he's getting passed on the... No,
he's off into the grass.
Pushed wide. Deakin holds a spot. He's got...
Anyway, further up the field, somebody's gone off into the grass as well. Was it Fraser?
Looks like Fraser, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Losing quite a few spots
Neil,
here.
His teammate
Dropping
just
down
went
to the
past.
6th. You see Alex Everitt's moved from 10th to 7th already. He had a great start. He's followed closely by Varga. Right behind Varga is Havasi. Rounding up the top 10, we have Robert Staten.
Yeah, this is really spicy here as well.
Yeah, no, this is going to be interesting here.
You can see a lot of kicked up grass here.
There we see the
further up the field, here we go. Once again, we got Neil just battling it out there with Vlad.
So much going on all over the track. This is just going to be an exciting day for racing. Here we got about 12 and a half minutes left, so we're only 3 minutes in. All along with Neil Crave.
We're on board with Ian over his rear wing.
Up. Car pulls into 3rd. What a pass. Oh, with the over-under, though, he comes back.
Bumping and grinding is racing. I think there's a little bit of net code, probably my connection, obviously, to these drivers. Not too much I could do about that, but that's why you see it. Maybe just a little bit of the jitteriness. Sure, the drivers aren't experiencing that.
We've had a pretty much, for the most part, a clean race so far. So that's pretty impressive on these drivers, especially with a lot of these new drivers. Seeing, for the most part, everybody coming through clean, giving everybody proper room. Right along with Vesey here, coming into the sharp left turn, followed by the right-hander.
Yeah, that's the inside chicane that kicks up all that dust.
Second to last right-hander into the last turn. Across the start-finish line here momentarily. So we're on lap 5 with Artem Markov in first place. He's got a 3-second lead already on Anad. Denny's a couple seconds behind him there. So
someone's going really slow at the back here.
It's
no,
Norway,
it's our good Norwegian driver. He's still in plump blast, so he's really slow. Might have some damage or something, where he just left it off to allow it further back up here. To Mr. Robert, that was in the chat before. Now, is he starting in his start position? I'm saying if he's dropped any places just yet. He was around 9th, 10th before.
I think he was a 9th.
Oh, and there we go. This might be it. That's on you.
Wide.
That's okay. He's just gone off track there a little bit. That was totally on Michael there, Robert. Blame him. That's actually my bad because I went on board with Robert. And he's got his teammate there trying to get past, and the only problem is there's a blue car in the way.
Gravier.
Are they going to block him out? Are they going to block out Adam here as they work together? It's so hard to overtake, isn't it? Oh, I think it's going all off. Everybody off the track.
This is such a tight track. Yeah, Adam Locke here battling with his Gravelliere. This is a very interesting track. It's a short time and just not a lot of room.
No, not a lot of room to overtake. And look at that side by side again. This is Robert.
Come through here, the last section. Turns 9 and turns 10. This seems like it's been the cleanest part of the track so far, as we see some dirt kicked up as I'm saying that.
Yeah, don't kick up too much of that dirt. I'm going to get him out there with a broom and sweep it all up later. So massive lead of that 3 seconds. Let's go further up with Alex, because now Alex is looking like to put a bit of pressure here on Neil Crave.
He's already coming in.
He might have already got that pressure done, but look at that. If Neil has to be very careful because he has got Gabriel that's just sliced through there as well and said, okay, well, if Alex can do it, I can do it too. Oh. But Neil's got it back. We're on board Alex looking over his wing as he did make that overtake done, but then he's got Neil and Gabor and Frazier there behind. So
Frazier's definitely poking his nose up there. I gave him a little love tap. Go too wide through here over their start finish. I don't think they're going to be able to manage the too wide through the chicane here. They're going to try it, and Crave's got the position here.
Look at that. It's just don't even worry about the corner. Just go straight. You could. You'd be getting off tracks, of course, for that.
I would not want to be the guy that's got to deal with the bodywork on these cars tomorrow.
It'll buff out, that's what they say. And look at this teammates at the moment. So Geoff and Robert. Robert went really deep. Now Robert's under massive pressure there from Ricardo. And Ricardo, look at that, should be able to take it unless Robert can hold it. No, Robert's going on maybe around us. So amazing how he could keep it pointing in the right direction.
Save. Robert, that was an amazing save.
Yeah, but you know he's probably going to get a little upset himself because he's dropped down another 9 positions from where he was just before. So he must have had a massive off-track moment.
Dives for the inside here. Looks like he's gone ahead. Get back up on his teammate here.
Yeah, sometimes you just think with these guys, they're not really. I mean, we're aboard with Ricardo, of course. That's not the teammates of them, but even the teammates have been bumping and grinding each other tonight, where you are in the world.
Yeah, it's just such a tight track. There's not really much you can do about it. You're gonna if you go wide anywhere, you're gonna be bumping and grinding. We see Fabio here taking the inside line. It's a nice pass on O'Shea. Got the job done. Coming into turn 9 here. See if O'Shea can fight it back.
Further up, we still got this other action up here with Frazier.
Markov still holding a 3-second lead all the way in the front. Nod has got a 3-second lead over Denny in second place. Tara's got back about a 1.5 seconds from him. Everett is back about 2 seconds from him, and Crave is another 0.5 second back from there. So we do have a little bit of a gap from first, second, third, fourth, and fifth here. Looks like Markov is just kind of running away with it.
Robert's still going in it again, but it's his teammate's going very slow now, drop back. That's Geoff. It's allowed Ricardo to get through there. So, yeah, making a little bits of mistakes between this team and the Alfa Romeos. Team, what is that, Multisan? Oh, look, who's off in there as well? Is that Gorgon? Yes, it is. Oh, that's our...
Gorgon Pedersen?
Yeah, our Danish driver. Well, I'll give you a positive that our local Norwegian driver is not last anymore. He's 29th now.
He's posted it's down to 54.1. I wonder how far away from this track in real life he is.
True.
Norway is a pretty big country, but being from the United States.
Yeah, but not a lot of places to live in Norway, that's the thing.
Yeah, everything
I mean,
that I've seen
everything's on the
Norway is
coast,
absolutely
essentially. Put it that way,
beautiful.
just like in Australia, you live on the coast.
Yeah, but just everything that I've seen about Norway is just absolutely beautiful. I would love to visit.
Yeah.
Love to visit.
One of my Norwegian friends says there's an island off Norway that they go to, like for a New Year's party. That a lot of people go to, and it's pitch black for, I think, the whole 20 or maybe 23 hours of the day, or maybe full 24 hours of the day.
Oh.
So that's it, because so it's closer up to the Antarctic.
Kind of like parts of Alaska.
Yeah, exactly. So you got basically all just nighttime partying, really, for New Year's. It's quite cool. You won't see sun, put it that way, not very often. Opposite side of the year, of course, and the opposite month, you're going to get all day time. But anyway.
Yeah, that is interesting. Side of the globe. You see Geoff here, trying to get up on the inside.
We're getting down to about 3 minutes and change from this first race.
I believe Markov is probably pretty comfortable there.
Right in front of Geoff there, taking that racing line. Shutting the door on Geoff. That's compromised Geoff a little bit, because it's going to bring Anthony here into play. Anthony Hobbs.
19th here. Right on the back doorstep. Follow through here in the chicane.
And if this track could be covered in snow for most of the year, it probably would be.
I would imagine so.
Might have to get out the chains. Neil at the moment, and Alex. See if they're going to do anything about this with about 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes to go. But they've got ballast weights on these cars, so they're going to be struggling with a bit extra weight on board.
Yeah, and it's impressive how our championship leader, Alex Everitt's just moving through the field from 10th up into 5th. He's about 2 seconds off of Tatara right now, but still, what an impressive drive from him so far today.
45 kilograms, I believe, of extra ballast
40.
on that car? 40?
40,
Yeah.
Let's double check here. He has 40 personally.
Plus, you get it as a team, too. Is that also added?
I would believe
Yeah.
so. Let's go ahead and clarify that.
It's like having friggin' groceries packed in the back of the car for the weekend, or camping gear or something like that.
It just shows the absolute, pure driving skill that these drivers have. Be able to take that extra weight and still throw around great sub 56, 55 second lap times.
Imagine how quick you'd be if you took that out right now. But anyway, that's the battle behind, and as you can see, so look at that. Gable really wants to get past, and that's Neil Crave ahead of him. Just look at that, he's swerving around there, trying to throw Neil off his racing line. Just ignore the drivers' names on the back of the cars. That's all incorrect. That's I don't know how that's ever fixed or something like that. It's always been like that since the start of the season we've had. That must be whoever the original driver that drives that car legitimately in real life uses. But this is it. This is really the only time they're going to get a couple more laps in here for a possible overtake.
Definitely coming down to about a minute left here, so it's going to be very interesting here. You see Frazier trying to get involved here, trying to get back up to the front. He went a little wide there. That opened the door for Schneider.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's go on board with Mr. Schneider. Look at the exit speed he has here. Now, do you commit on the inside line? You do. You go like just enough space heads in it, put the other driver into the fence. But you got to be bumping and grinding. That's a part of racing, especially in these cars. That's what they're built for. They can take a little bit of punishment.
Yeah, these touring cars are just so fun.
We do have other mini battles occurring as well. That's all the way around here. Where is it? Go back a little bit down here as well with Anthony Hobbs. But running out of time to focus on some of it, so have a look at this one. There's Rory as well. No, running out of time to go. 5 seconds, because we're going to have to obviously go over to here he is. And will he get another lap in? Markov?
Looks like he has.
I think he, yeah. So,
Just,
check his
just
flag out
barely
just
got
yet.
across there. He's got a
So that will
6-second
allow
lead there.
a little bit more fighting from these guys for one more chance. One more chance to gain a position here. Or lose a position.
It's been a great battle between Crave and Varga. See, we're coming up on the back of Alex here too.
I think Alex would be pretty happy with that P5 with that extra ballast weight.
Oh yeah.
Getting more points in this championship, that's what it's all about. And with
Steady
the
as she
reverse,
does it.
with the
Especially with Tatara back behind, or just in front of him, so. You see, Markov's about to take the checkered flag here.
Yeah. We didn't got much screen time on Markov because he's done everything absolutely right.
Way
And
too
he's straight
far
back
ahead.
in the pit lane now. He's done it.
It's a great race. He had a 6-second lead there.
There's the rest of them. Neil, we had Vlad in that P2. We had Ian Dealey. We're going to go through those results in a second. I just want to see if there's anybody else that manages to get any overtakes done towards the end. I think that was it. These camera angles aren't the best that they've got around the track. We just see more of the butts of the cars than we do at the front.
Yeah.
Might have to get out there and fire some of those camera operators. I was going to say cameramen, but this is 2022 with camera women as well. And the drone fly over, and there you go. You get to go through those results for us, please, sir.
We have Alex Markov taking the win. We have Nenad Vladisevic taking second. Ian Denny taking third. We have Tatara in fourth. Alex Everitt in fifth. Neil Crave sixth. Varga seventh. Rostens eighth. Fallen from the pole position. Schneider takes ninth. Hevesi takes 10th. Juhász takes 11th. O'Shea 12th. Gill 13th. Locke 14th. Stoughton 15th. De Gablier 16th. Purkiss 17th. Ponusa 18th, Hobbs 19th, Obradovich 20th, Santos 21st, Deakin 22nd, Smith 23rd, Labon 24th, Anderson 25th, Lopez 26th, Georgia 27th, and it looks like I didn't have enough time there.
No,
I
they're not going to
apologize.
give you enough time.
That is quite the field. And yes, we have Crest Autosport saying in the chat, tough track indeed. Yeah, cars going all over the place on that first race. What a race, though.
And what will happen, obviously, now is that we're going to get into our second race, which will just pull up the itinerary, of course, so you can see it right there. So we've done our race 1, 15 minutes, and what have we got there? Race 2. What's that one? I want to read that.
Race 2. We have a reverse grid from the top 12, so first place is going to be back in 12th place. 12th place is going to be starting on a pole. So we have... let's see here. We have Markov, who won that first place. He's going to be in 12th. And then we're going to have a reverse grid for the third race as well, but that's going to be the top 18. So let's see what we got here.
I'll pull up these results, sorry, real quick there, because I'm trying to keep all the race results. So this is the race results we had just then.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we go on we go on these results. So yeah, how are we going to be looking out for that now? Because we're just loading into a new session and stuff like that. Well,
yeah, it looks like O'Shea is going to be taking the pole, followed by Juhász in second. Third place is going to be Hevesi. Fourth place Schneider. Fifth place Rostens. Sixth place Varga. Seventh place Crave. Eighth place is Everitt. Ninth place is going to be Tatara. 10th place Denny. 11th place is Nenad, 12th place is Markov, and then we're going to drop down to Gill in 13th, Adam Block in 14th, Stoughton in 15th, de Gravelliere in 16th, Purkiss 17th, Punasa 18th, Hobbs 19th, and Obradovich in 20th. Do we have any? Can we go any further down there?
No, I can only take one.
Oh no!
We
got our top 20 here. We'll have to.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get back into the track because we're going to get a little bit of a warm-up. So we've got a couple of minutes warm-up, but we can go back live, of course, because everybody's now reloading back in. But, at the moment, I will go and throw us up an Apex track intro for a second.
welcome back. I do want to go over our sponsors here. We have Apex Tracks. Our other sponsors are going to be 603 Autosports, 3D Wraps, Track Racer, Digital Motorsport, Esport Sim, and the GP Box. I want to go ahead and shout out and thank all of our sponsors today. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, please make sure that you subscribe, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell. That way you know when we're live in the future. And today's broadcast team is me, Michael David. Alongside me is Dean Biggles. And Biggles, that was a very, very, very interesting first race.
They always do produce. The cars are all loading at the moment. They're not invisible. Unless they got some sort of stealth technology. I'm not quite sure you want to have an invisible car when you're on a racetrack, do you? But again, it's a practice session. The more cars you get in, a little bit more time it takes to load. Was certainly adventurous. Lots of battles. You got to see, elbows are out, but I didn't manage to see a great deal of real accidents, which I was surprised considering how tough it was to overtake.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty interesting. There were a lot of elbows out, as you said. There was some over-under moves, but I feel like for the most part, it was people making a mistake and taking it off track for somebody to move up the field. Now, we did have some natural movers. Like we said, our championship leader, Alex Everitt, he had a great race, starting in 10th and moving up to 5. And we see we're all loading in here now. Okay,
it's going green flag, mate, so it's delayed me big time on that one. My apologies. So anyway, we have to call it as it is.
Oh, yeah, well, we're back and live. Okay, so we have O'Shea up front, Juhász second, Hebesi third, Roston's fourth, Varga fifth, Crave sixth, Everett seventh. He's already moved up to 7th. Tatara 8th, Denny 9th, Makarov 10th, Nadved Lestebilovic in 11th, Gill 12th, Stoughton 13th, and Schneider in 14th. We're going to go ahead and give it a minute here as we see some battles.
Absolutely, Roy in the lead of this race at the moment. Look at that, tooth and nail going for it.
Yeah, I think the best opportunity is to start on pole on this track and just try to get a great start and pull away.
Look how the camera angles have changed. So we're actually getting some better camera angles now. That's playing tricks as Alex goes off into the grass a little bit.
Falling back at position here. Tatara taking that spot from him. You see quite a few. Is that 3 wide in the back?
That could be 3 wide in the back. Interesting.
3 wide. Nad taking up the 10th spot here.
This is what you've seen before in the past, and it's early days, so I think they really want to get overtaking opportunities. It's saying race too, it's counting down 20 seconds, so I don't know what is going on because we should be 15 minutes into this race, unless it's just teasing with us.
It says we're on lap 2, so I'm going to go ahead and
we are.
assume we're in the race here as we see Fabio Gill getting on the inside.
Second. Hopefully.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody.
Yeah, I probably should have turned my bit rate down. Anyway, we can't do it now. We have to work with what we got. Further at the back here, there's also a lot of action. Just a lot of action. There's a lot of dirt being kicked up around there.
Hey, there's our local moving up into 21st spot. Oyvind Anderson.
Yes, that's great. Further up the field still. This battle continues, and look at Vlad, man. Every time there's action on track, this man is always there. And I call him Action Vlad from now on, because he's never alone. Well, sometimes he's in the lead of the race way up the road, but most of the time it's always battling of cars.
Well, what happened up front here? I think we had a lead change. What's going on up front?
No, that's just a bit of net thing. Roy should still be leading.
Okay.
Yeah, the timing tells just trying to catch up.
Throwing me for a loop there. I apologize.
It does that. It does it in iRacing. It does it in a lot of motorsports. Especially when you have 29 cars. We might have lost one, but you have 29 cars.
I think we started with 31, so yeah, I think we lost 2,
all around the world trying to throw their data to the server and back to me and my internet and your internet and everywhere else. So yeah, that's what's playing tricks on us.
At least we have racing. That's all that matters. Right along here with watching Varga come through. 6th place on the back of Crave, so that battle is continued on from the last race.
Just going to see here if Fraser's going to be able to do anything about Norbert. They're right up the road, actually. Quite a bit of a gap there. Almost 2 seconds to Sandor. That's very interesting. We'll go back to this, continuing the battle again. Familiar names, mate? Neil? Gabor, Vlad, Alex. Always together on track generally, because they're also together on the championship standings too.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, in Category 1 we have Alex Everitt, Vlad Tatara, and Geoff Purkiss up in the top 3. Category 2, we got Alex Ward, Remo Schneider, and Norbert Juhász in 3rd. And then Category 3 we have Craig Deakin, Steve Labon, and Anastasios Georgiadis. Man, I had it so close earlier.
The Greek names are always the hardest. James has got it. James got it down eventually after a couple of races.
I don't have that excuse. The wife is Greek. I should know this. We
had the whoa, throw on that car for that. Yeah, be careful, mate. You got another race to go. Don't damage it too much. Yeah, we have I think one of the highest concentrated Greek populations in Melbourne outside of Greece. So I don't live in Melbourne, but so if I did, I should be very good at pronouncing some Greek names.
You are from down under, though, is that correct?
Yeah. More the tropical northern part, where it's a bit warmer.
This battle between Crave here and Tatara's got the inside.
3-1.
Oh!
There's
oh,
contact.
what is going on there?
Oh, is that straight back
Everybody's
onto the track?
off.
Is that Alex? Yes, it was. That's Alex. Oh no, Gable.
I'm not sure what happened there. That might have been a little bit of net code, because it looked like there was 3 cars in one there for a moment.
I think we are experiencing a little bit of net code here. Look, Vlad's
gone
off.
Goes off here. Too wide down.
This is going to bring more people into this party.
Yeah, that's just going to break the field altogether. We have O'Shea out front, almost a 4-second lead.
No, I bet she's loving this going. You guys can just go for it too for now. Go fight in the playground, and I'll be already in studying my next. I'll be already out of my lunch break and back into the classroom. Here we go. Still going for it. Ooh, there's a bit of bump. That's teammate bumping into. We've seen this now. Look at this. First rule.
This is very interesting.
Never take your teammate out. That's the first rule.
Alex Everitt said, "Get out of my inside."
I'm scared to go on board with Robert right now to watch all this action from his cockpit cam.
Does he got the inside? Yeah. Oh, he makes contact there on Gill.
It kind of looks like you could just use the car to let your car slide into him in the corner, so they're basically helping if you're braking.
Oh, and we see a big off behind him there. Was that Tatara that just went off?
My timing board is a little hard for me to try to select his drivers as well.
I think Tatara had a big off there.
There's 3 teammates here as well. Look at that. He's pushing his teammate a long time. Get on with it, Pedro says to the Geoff. It's ahead of him up the road. That car always throws me off, isn't it? That car that's in the track that's parked there. And that camera angle. It looks like it's a car that's off. One of our race cars that off the track, but no, that's just... I told you not to park there, remember? I see. You know they're going to give you a ticket for that later. In Norwegian Kronos, I think it is too, whatever the currency is. Oh boy.
Taking the inside line here. Does he have it? Does he have it down the straight into the chicane? Looks like he's ahead at the moment.
And then we got 2 teammates, 2 teams versus 2 teams. In a team warfare again.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there are any team orders like you said this early in the season. Everybody's kind of bouncing around. I guess if I'm Alex Everitt, that makes sense. You're overall championship leader, you don't want to give that up. Follow along with that here.
He's a bit of a lonely man out there on the track, isn't he? Because he's the only one in his team, in the DHL team, and everybody else surrounding him is all in multiple teams. So he's got to work it all alone here.
He's moving through the field pretty well, though. He's up into 8th. I believe he started in 11th. He was 2nd place in our first race here. So he's had a pretty decent start so far. I would love to tell you how much longer we have, but I'm not exactly quite sure.
Yeah, we don't know at the moment, unfortunately, as well. I think the timing table's all...
I do believe our first race went about 17 laps, so we should have about 6 or 7 laps left. We see O'Shea opening a 6-second lead.
We go back up to here. There it is. Just looks like Robert might be making a run, definitely. on the NAD.
Yeah, probably coming in on the inside.
Now, is he going to bring his teammates into play as well? Looks like they will, maybe. No, we've got everybody's going past. So what happened to our 31 car? Yeah, look at that. He's really lost a couple of places now. He's getting swarmed by everybody. Go back up to Fraser now. Here we go. Fraser making a run on Norbert. This is for P2. Nothing that Rory needs to worry about. He's 7 seconds up the road.
Great move there through the chicane by Fraser. Just not giving up that inside line. We've seen a lot of drivers having to give that inside line up. And he just refused. And I know he probably, after losing his pole position, falling back to 10th place last in the first race, he's probably very happy with that second place right now.
Still a lot of midfield action. We'll see if Neil will be able to do something about Robert soon. That's another battle that's occurring there. That'd be very unfortunate for Norbert, sorry. Because Norbert could be dropping another place, couldn't he? Because he just got passed by Fraser. Now Neil wants a piece of this party. A piece of this pie. James has got all those puns. When he's hungry, he's going to bring out those food puns. He's not here today, of course. He's busy casting elsewhere.
He did have some food puns with me on Tuesday, so yeah.
He's hungry then if he's got the food puns out. That's for sure.
I can tell.
I reckon Neil's not going to make a run just yet. He's sizing him up, but remember the reverse grid, so you generally do have drivers that maybe a little bit quicker and slower than the other ones, but still track position's always key, especially with Rory.
I do want to say that Neil has been very... Oh, is he flashing his lights there to try to take some sort of advantage?
Yeah, it's like he doesn't have to... It does not a Le Mans race. He doesn't have to overtake. Doesn't have to lift off. There's no blue flags. Norbert is in track position. He's not going to want to yield.
No, I mean... Let's see, Norbert.
Ian's a little bit further back. Are they going to bring these other drivers into play as well? You can still see. I think Neil's just throwing everything at him, isn't it? Like just trying to put him off, I guess.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
But Alex is now coming to play. Look at this. Alex is like, all right, Neil, if you don't get it done, I will.
Wide.
And he did. And now, Ian Indini could be doing the same thing. So, haven't we seen this when you get drivers that are fighting, and all of a sudden, there's a little mistake that they make, and then bang, two cars go zooming past you after you try to put in all that work just to overtake that player before you, and then you get overtaken by two.
Go off just a tiny bit wide, you leave that door open, and all of a sudden, like you said, you got two cars peeking their nose in there.
James would be saying, you leave that door open, you get burgled. That's the one that James would be saying.
Burgled.
Yeah. Further back, I'm thinking there's some action here. I apologize. The timing table that I have is making it almost impossible to select things because it's just... I need reactions of motor racing drivers right now.
Jumping all over the place here. Now, like I said, I think we had about 17 laps in the first race, so since we're on lap 14 right now, there's probably only 2 or 3 left. Should be coming to the white flag here in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, sorry, Rory. We might miss you going across the line because we're not quite sure about the laps, but either way, I don't think there's anything you need to worry about because you've got a 7-second gap and you're going to take this race to victory for sure. You can even afford to make little tiny mistakes right now and back it off a little bit if you need to. Alex wants this P3, sorry. Norbert's still holding in there. I like that. He's been under pressure for some time now, but he is holding him off. It was only Fraser to manage to get past. There's a contact. You can see how it says 2-3 as well, 2 next to his track position, which we know it's not at the moment because that's actually brought him a little bit of time. Because Neil and Alex and Ian are all going for it. Oh, they are definitely going for it. That's probably one of the worst. You got to stay there. You got to wait for everybody to go past right now. If you come back on the track, he's slamming into you, and that's not pretty. That hurts. He does find a gap and get back on, but just dropped everything like a Netflix subscription at the moment.
The only silver lining there is he stayed in the top 18. Or did he? He did. I think.
That's.
I think he
I
stayed
mean,
at the top
we
18.
were kind of saying the first one they were elbows out, but nobody was really spun. That's probably the first one we have seen, isn't it, of somebody really going around?
Yeah, I would say that was probably more of a racing incident than anything else, though. Trying to go 2 wide, and then Ian had his nose in there, almost 3 wide. And, Neil just got the business side of that. He just got unlucky. Markov in 9th place.
Exactly in the chat, of course. Tough track, all right. I wouldn't want to be out there in these gladiators. Further back, this is Geoff. There is action everywhere, trust me.
We're on lap 16, so
Alex
we should be coming to a white flag here soon.
On Robert and Alex. That's Robert just ahead, 31 car. Alex is a 19.
Robert, we got a checkered flag coming up, so we are on lap 17.
Yeah, that's Rory. There he is. So there you go. He's done it.
Robert quietly had a very good race up in the 5th if he can hold off Alex Everitt here. Looks like he did.
Oh, that was close. Look at the rest
Fraser
of the
had a
pack
great
here.
race as well.
Yeah, the race is over, so if you see those cars scooting through, overtaking everybody, that's just because they are finished. So any major surprises? Where did that Norwegian driver finish? He's up at, P20th, I think it was. But, yeah, 20. It says 24 on the timing tower, says 20 there. I think it's 20, accurately. Once the timing tower sorts itself out, you can see it's all moving around. We know that Roy did win, so here you go.
So here we go. Rory O'Shea takes the win. Rostons in 2nd place. Juhász takes 3rd. Denny takes 4th. Robert takes 5th. Everitt in 6th. Hevesi in 7th. Markov in 8th. Varga 9th. Gill 10th. Purkiss 11th. De Gavlier 12th. Santos 13th. Locke 14th. Oberdovic 15th. Craves 16th. Hobbs 17th. Deakin 18th. Panusa 19th. Vlad in 20th. Jajea 21st. Hand in 22nd, Labon 23rd, Anderson 24th, Georgiadis 25th, Smith 26th, Schneider 27th, Tatara 28th, Lopez 29th, Santos 30th, and 31st is Peterson. So our local did fall back there. It looks like that was our first race results. So
is that? Yes, it is. Let me change that real quick to you. My apologies. We'll go through that to the second race results now. I'll get those graphics all sorted out for next round. But there you go. There's race 2 results on the screen for you. Just reloading into the session and all that jazz.
Our race 3 is going to be an 18-spot grid flip. So it looks like Deakin's going to be our pole sitter. Hobbs is going to be 2nd. Crave, like I said, Silver Lining is going to be starting 3rd. Oberdovic 4th. Locke 5th, Santos 6th, De Gavlier 7th, Purkiss 8th, Gill 9th, Vargas 10th, Markov 11th, Hevesi 12th, Everitt 13th, Staten 14th, Denny 15th, Juhász 16th, Roston 17th, O'Shea 18th, Punasa 19th, Vlad in 20th. What happened in the NAD? Did we see what happened with the NAD? He was running up in 9th last time I saw him. Now all of a sudden he's back in 20th. I thought that was a bit of a glitch, but he must have had an off track or something.
That is a good question. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to show replays, so we can't really go back and have a look at that one.
I would definitely be interested to see what happened there, because he had a great first race and coming up in 2nd, and then he had moved up into 9th place, I believe, is the last time I saw him. But now he's back in 20th.
Just trying to wait for the session so we can come back in again in a minute. Once again, there is our itinerary. So we're going to be doing what you mentioned here. Grid based on race 2, reverse top 18.
This race is going to be a little bit longer, a 20-minute race. So this is our final. It's going to be very exciting, very tight. Very interested to see what happens here, because that second race there started to get a little more gritty at the end there.
You wait to the third race, mate. This is when it's boxing gloves off.
Yeah. Should be an exciting race.
Once again, well, we can mention our fantastic sponsors that help put this on. And don't forget, we're going to have Driver of the Day voting coming up a little bit later into the third race.
Our Driver of the Day is sponsored by Apex Tracks, our main sponsor. We do want to thank all of our other sponsors, though. Esports Sim, Track Racer, 603 Autosport, Apex Tracks, obviously, 3D Wrap, digitalmotorsports.com, and GP Box. And also, today's broadcasting is brought to you by James Parfit Broadcasting, JPB. So, let's see here. How do you feel on that second race? Anything kind of jump out at you as a surprise?
Rory doing a great job, just cleaning everything up the way, putting in some great laps. I think he had the fastest lap as well. So that was fantastic to see the Irishmen just going. Big gap too. Obviously, it was a 15-minute race as well. So and that was 7-second gap was a lot better, wasn't it, than the first results?
Well, it was. Yeah. I think it was the 6-second gap in the first race, so it wasn't too much difference. I think it shows whoever jumps out to the lead, as long as they have a clean race, nobody's going to catch them. It's probably going to be more of the same here in the third race. Now, I do believe we need to back out here because race 3 server is now live. It looks like they're in their 10-minute practice session.
Yeah, I'm joining. I got my tickets. Hopefully they'll allow us in to the casting box again, right?
I do hope so.
How about our schedule while we wait to get in there? We're off to next, my friend, just down below us a little bit. Germany.
The Norris Ring. I've never been to the Norris Ring.
I haven't been to the Norris Ring. It's not the Nordschleife. That's that.
It would not be the Nordschleife. See if I can.
You can see the track on there. So that looks like really long straights, doesn't it? Multiple long straights. Couple of really tight hairpin corners. Another kink. That's going to be very interesting. Like you can imagine just looking at that map right now. That's 3 massive overtaking opportunities at least.
Yeah. No, that's definitely going to be a very tight and interesting race there. Silverstone the following week. I think everybody might.
So we've got about a 7-minute or so practice session. I'll let you get up and have a hydrate, get something to drink, and we'll definitely, of course, we'll be back. We'll be back, of course, in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere, guys.
we are back in Vålerbanen. I want to welcome everyone.
You there? You want to cut off there for a second? You there, Michael? I think I've lost Michael. So I can't hear him for a second. It's a practice session, about 1 minute to go. Only a few drivers are out there, I guess. I'm sweating it out, just as you mentioned out there in the chat there, Robert. Absolutely sweaty. About 50 seconds to go. And we'll get ready to start the final race of this evening, which will be a 20-minute race. And with a reverse grid of 18 of these drivers. If we get Michael in here in a second. There's about 7 seconds to go before we're going to be starting our third race now. The practice is going to be over. Hopefully get Michael back in. Michael, are you here? And if you have audio issues there, Mikey. See if we can get Michael back here in a second, because this, yep, they're going to be loading up back onto the grid in about a minute from now, as they're just going back, return those cars back to the garage. Make sure you give them a bit of a clean. Wipe the sweat down. Get ready for that final important race. You guys out there, make sure you keep an eye out for who your driver of the day too later on that will be, so that we can then chat about it. I think I'm going to have to call the race start unless Michael's back. Yes, go. Michael, are you there? Can't quite hear you. A little bit. 25 seconds to go if you want to get the race start for us. No, he's just sorting out some... He's got lots of technical issues today. It's fine. I think we're going to get ready to go racing. So we're going to have Mr. Craig Deakin and Anthony on the first and second rows. First row, of course. And they got Neil Crave and Bjorky, I believe it is, and we are definitely green flag racing conditions for the round 3.
I do apologize. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, so you're back. Welcome.
Yeah, I am back. My microphone disconnected. I apologize for that. I've been sitting here talking to you, and talking to you.
That's all right. I've had that before. Anyway, race starts off. A good launch there from Anthony, Neil. There's Adam. Back into P5. Lots of action, of course, in the midfield. So far, so good. Everybody looking like they're pointing in the right direction through those turns, and that's fantastic to see. I think they want to be elbows out just yet as much, because there's about 5 minutes more, remember, in this race.
Here.
Yeah, Robert said he was sweaty as. Only he's got out there and had maybe a quick 5-minute shower in between these races. Let's see. He's got Alex on his tailpipe. Oh, somebody's running off. That's a DHL car running off really wide in the background.
Bad. Still didn't find out what happened to him in the first race, but
there's a full spinner at the back too.
Oh yeah,
I don't know who that was.
There's a lot going on back there.
Yeah, I think it was this driver here.
We got a car coming down.
Rory, I think.
Yeah. We got a car in the pits too. There's something happened in the back there. Bokey there, as you see. Leslie coming through. I do see there has been a clean start for the most part up until whatever just happened in the back there. Do you see some too wide coming through here, though?
Steven saying that was not proper racing at the start. I don't know. It's not too bad. I mean, I'm not sure what happened. Steven's actually out. Sorry, apologies. It's a Belgium driver. Yeah, Stevie, let us know what happened, please, because we saw a couple of cars off. Unfortunately, don't have a replay, so we had to try to focus on what's happening at the front, the middle, and missed what happened at the back there. So you can let us know in the chat, please, because you're obviously in the pit lane retired, so something's not going too well for you, unfortunately. still added here too for now there. With Alex further back in the field here, it looks like you have a bit of a train here perhaps. No, not really that much of a train, but there is Georgiadis.
Coming down the inside.
This is the reverse 18 grid too, remember, so Rory, who won the previous race, is running down 26 now after that incidents that were occurring.
Yeah, I really wish we had a replay there. Kind of saw it in the background, like you said, but not really sure what exactly happened.
Just Stephen,
Norbert
let us know in the
like
chat.
He's got to slow down.
If you can, please. Yeah. Well,
15 currently at the moment.
Here's Markov. It's usually his teammate that's in the wars. Where is his teammate? Vlad's down there. Vlad is actually right behind the Norwegian driver. About to overtake. In fact, I think they all are. That's further back here. There they are.
Yeah,
that's
there definitely was something crazy.
The Norwegian driver there of, I can't pronounce his first name, but let's say Oli or something. Ovard. Ovind.
Oyvind, I believe.
Oyvind, yeah. But midfield action here with Flavio.
Coming out of that turn, that seems like a quite a passing opportunity here. Oh, what happened there? It looks like somebody went wide.
3 wide here.
Oh, yeah, this seems like quite the best passing location on the map, or at least where everybody's trying to. Right along here. Tomorrow.
There is a side-by-side, I think, there. There's side-by-sides everywhere. So you can see if you run a little bit wide there, you get under massive attack down one of the straightaways.
Yeah, it seems like you go wide, like you said earlier. Somebody puts their nose in there and you lost 2 or 3 spots.
This side-by-side action, this is where you do get a bump and grind here. It's the only way to get an overtake done, isn't it? You do have to scratch a bit of paint. As long as you don't get too aggressive and like really try to bumper car somebody into the wall.
The TCR is definitely a more aggressive car. You definitely have to, like you said, be a little more forceful, if you will.
And it's good. Ooh, there's definitely net code. Ooh, who's that off? That's... I think that was Reno that went really deep there. Schneider, yeah, you can see. He's dropped back a couple of places there now under attack there from Flabo.
He's got his,
as well.
his nose up on the inside. Oh,
definitely some net code kind of jazz going on here.
It's hard for me to tell because I think it looks like contact, and then all of a sudden it's definitely net code. So I do apologize.
Well, it's just I think it's where the positioning of the cars are. What we see might not be exactly what the drivers are seeing from their point of perspective. But I'd still guarantee there's contact happening.
Yeah, that was definitely contact with the nod there. Looks like Schneider's making some room back up.
Frazier up here and Sandor. That's, yeah, you can see. Oh,
They
you're
are
going to be very
tight.
careful. See, he's turned in right to bump him back. But unfortunately, when you've gone a little bit out ahead, and if he's lifted off, which is exactly what Frazier did there, he lifted off, and Sandro is still steering in that direction, of course. That's pushing him all the way across the track.
Ooh, yeah.
And there he is, Sandro coming back on.
That was a brave re-entry.
Yeah.
Juhász.
There are some Christmas cards probably not being exchanged between these drivers this year. Oh, straight off into the background. And who is that?
It looked like it was Dean. I thought it came up.
Dean?
Nay.
I don't know. Nay.
It's hard to tell.
Here's Roy.
I really do wish we had that replay.
Rory trying to make his way back up at the start at the back of the field here. I think he was involved in one of those early corner incidents.
Yeah, because he would have started in 18th.
Yeah.
Taken that second win here, second race win.
Back up to the, look at the gaps that are forming already between the groups that we're having now.
Crave is right on the back of Hobbs. Hobbs seems to be the first leader that hasn't been able to really take advantage of that. You see riding along the back of there. Crave is about half a second back, 4/10 back. They do have about a second and a half lead on third place there in Purkiss. Crave is he's had a consistent.
Oh, there was a
race
message that came
race
up
two.
very quickly, unfortunately. I think that was a drive-through penalty. That penalty, yeah, that came up really quickly. I have that set to 20 seconds. I did not see 20 seconds of that drive-through penalty, did you?
I didn't see the drive-through
It
penalty.
came up for about 1 second. We'll see if we get that fixed for the next race. I do apologize, but we did increase the timer. It obviously did not show it in the time because that was not 20 seconds. I would have had plenty of time to read this one. Rory climbing his way back up 20th almost now, looking for a 19th.
That was brave. Awful brave, Rory.
He's got a couple of Vlad once again. Did I not mention Vlad is always there somewhere on track? There's a car next to him every time. Action Vlad. Remember, that's his nickname.
I mean, he's living up to that today, that's for sure. I think he was living up to that last week as well.
Every week.
Santos, back of this little train.
I guess if you're not, you no longer go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver, according to Ayrton Senna. Stephen Labon battling it out with Georgiadis. As well, a little bit further up, we have Ian, just behind Robert, who hopefully have had a shower that was sweating it out.
Robert's up into 8th place.
Still, Neil's just sitting back there behind. Yep, here we go. There's a possibility of an overtake here down the back straight. Or is it the main straight? I still don't know the straight that well.
Not teammates, is that correct? That they're
don't
very similar
so.
teams, but they are not.
No, they're not.
Those liveries are just so close.
Yeah.
Holding them off pretty well.
Further back here, Ricardo, who's gone deep. That's Ricardo's teammate, unfortunately, that's gone deep. That's Carl Smith, I believe.
Yeah, falling back to 21st.
Don't want to be seeing your teammate off onto the grass, do you, when you're trying to work together. Bit of a British domination, if you can see at the moment, at the top 4. It's only our man Markov that's breaking that one up there.
5 in the
before
top
Alex.
6. Is that 8 in the top 10? Yeah, that is absolute domination.
Norbert there. There could be an overtake in the background there as well. There is at least attempted of an overtake between Stephen and Jamoriel, if you can pronounce this Dutch driver's name.
Jamoriel? Manusa. Well, I do apologize. I'm not trying to butcher your name.
That's my job. Oh, just go straight up the chicane. They're not there for any reason. Tell you what, you're gonna have a sore back after these races.
Oh man, all the bumping and grinding, and then the chicane. Ooh.
Drivers would be already sweaty as it is.
I'm curious how far off the off track is on this track.
That's a very good question.
Never driven it here before. Let's see.
Stevie out there said something that might have been deleted. So whatever it is, Stevie, you got to keep it a little bit. Maybe he might be mad. I can understand that, but just let us know in the most politically correct way you could.
I don't think. No, I think that was his original message that got deleted.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing his original message. I think his original message was just
Canadians that went on turn 1, lap 1, which is pretty normal for motor racing, I'd say, but unfortunate for him. He's one of the retoments.
Didn't got any room to turn, got hit in the side, lost the car and hit again, result in dead engine. Oh, that is, Stephen, that is oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. We did not get to catch that though, unfortunately. You see Markov here.
But thank you for letting us know, because otherwise we don't know.
Markov won our first race today. He's up in the 5th, his 3rd race here. He's had a great
Geoff's
race.
Now making a run now, I think. Yeah, I'm not going to say now in 3 times in a sentence. Look at the different racing line. So much exit speed. Nowhere to go. Go straight.
Oh, he's got
Geoff
the
and
pass
Neil.
done though. What a pass! He's just sending it, licking the stamp and sending it as Ricardo.
As Ricardo would
Danny
say.
Ricciardo likes to say.
Absolutely. Now their teammates behind here, Adam and Neil. So are they going to be working together to hold off a very fast Alex coming down the road too, as well as Markov, as you can see just in the background?
Yeah, let's look to see if that that 1 second gap between Markov and Locke, that 1.5 second gap, shortens. Would not be surprised to see Everitt and Markov in the back of Locke here real quick.
You got to catch. Ian's also catching Robert, so that's this little battle here as well. They're starting to gap a little bit, and what we've seen in the previous rounds was 7 minutes in left of this, so about halfway through.
I think that almost 1 second gap here is the biggest we've seen so far at the front. So maybe Purkiss is starting to pull away a little bit.
You got a lot of retirements as well too that we didn't have in the first race, so you can see.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of those drivers that are so many laps down are sitting in the pit lane.
Vesey, Hand, Georgiadis. Oh man, I'm gonna work on that. I apologize. I'm working on those names this week. See Adam Locke here.
You gotta wonder if your teammate's quicker or not here, because look at that, they've allowed everybody to catch back up now. So Adam Markov's caught up, Alex is caught up, Gabor is catching on. Robert should be on this pack soon as well, and that's Robert in P7. So yes, how much
Craves
can you
pulled
afford?
a 2 second lead. Craves lost 2 seconds to the lead there too. Do you let Locke by?
It's a good question.
Looks like he might be. But do you risk that and then have Everitt coming up the inside?
And they will, and Alex can find gaps if there is any. If even there is not a gap on the track, Alex will find it. Remember, Alex is the championship leader, I believe, too, in that class. So he's...
Yeah, he is. Category 1 championship leader.
Want to be minimizing the points he get in this race, so otherwise he's going to get too far away to try to beat him in the championship. Don't forget, guys, we get your driver of... Do you want to explain about voting for your driver there?
Oh, well, for our driver of the day, we are going to go ahead and ask the chat here. Driver of the day is sponsored by Apex Tracks. We do want to shout out to them one more time. Main sponsor. Let's see here. So, I do want to go over a few things here before we get close. Find my notes here on driver of the day. I do apologize. Give me 1 moment here.
A couple off-track excursions that are occurring near this battle between Fraser and Georgiadis.
Category 1 champion of the series will win a fabulous prize provided by Apex Tracks, a sculpture of Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit to pin up on the driver's wall. Brands Hatch, that's one of my favorite tracks, so that is awesome. They do also, like we said, sponsor our driver of the day. So if anybody here in the chat wants to go ahead and vote, I think I know who I'm going to vote for. I'm going to hold that off for a moment. But do you have any suggestions? Who do you think you would pick today?
He always goes over to me. I keep saying to James, I like sitting on the fence.
See, I think I've already made my decision, but I don't want to give that away here too quickly. You see Markov coming on the inside.
Stevie, give us yours. Thank you very much for the great ride. We're doing the best we can. Some of the tools haven't been the best today, but we can only we do what we can do best.
Is pulling up on the back of Markov here.
Oh, that's bumping and grinding as I always see.
This is just fascinating seeing these in-car views of these TCR cars. Just you can really tell how close these bumping and grinding really is. Start-finish line into the first chicane.
Yeah, I think the other camera's a bit better. That racing number kind of blocks that a little bit. Here we go.
Steven says it's definitely difficult today. Steven, I do believe that you are correct. It is quite difficult because of there's been so many overtakes, so many passes, so much great racing all day long.
Alex up at a P3, Neil P2, Geoff P1.
Varga took 4th from Markov.
Yep. You know Markov's going to want that one back. He's got 3 minutes to get it done.
Yeah. So with 3 minutes left, I'm going to go ahead and give it another 30 seconds here, and then I'm going to go ahead and give my thought on who should win or who should win Driver of the Day, sponsored by Apex Tracks. Last chance, Biggles. Who do you think it's going to be? Biggles, are you with me?
This runs are definitely quite capable now. Robert wants to take it here. Will he take it? Running out of time, 2 minutes to go. I think Geoff is going to get this win. For sure. Not by a massive amount, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, of course, compared to what we had 7 and 6 seconds in the first couple of matches, but we do know that Alex has got a little bit of weight added to the car.
Yeah, Alex has definitely had a great race, a great day. Let's see here. I think I might be having some issues again. Biggles, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. I thought I was having some issues there. I'm going to go ahead and say my driver of the day. I think Markov, even though he did fall back off of the 4th place into the 5th here, winning that first race and just having a solid race 2 and then having another solid race 3 here, I think I'm going to go with Artem Markov as my driver of the day.
I think I'll back you up on that one, actually. I was trying to contemplate who.
Neil Crave would have been my second choice. He's just been consistent up front all day long, but I think I'm going to go ahead and go with Markov. That race 1 win really put him over for me. He's just had a steady, consistent day, and I mean, with a minute left here, he could still move up here.
And also, I mean, Rory, I mean, he's currently running 12th. I remember he was in the wars, and this is the wars right now, as you can see, between these guys, because they're running out of the final lap here. Almost.
Yeah, it looked like Rory was involved in that lap 1 fiasco.
Yep.
So I agree with you. Moving
After
back
winning
up to
that
the 12th.
race, how did he? I can't remember where he finished in that first race. That's the only thing I don't remember on that one.
I think he finished mid-pack. I think he finished 12th because I think he had the pole for that second race.
Yeah. Okay. So there it is. So yeah, maybe if Rory finished up, maybe if he had a better luck at this one, then probably would have given Rory the driver of the day, Rory. But for now. Are you going to go Mr. Markov?
Yeah, Markov. He did get bumped back a little bit though, but yeah, I think I got to stick with Markov. He was running up front there, and I mean it's between Markov and Crave for me.
So what do you guys out there think for yours? And look at that British domination at the moment, all the way down to Robert. P5.
Looks like we had another message deleted here in our chat.
Here's Markov going for it now. He's like, yep. Power slide out of the corner there from Gabor. Markov's like, yep, Michael, I'm going to prove to you why you're going to be your driver of the day, making his way up past that position. And also, look at the DHL car, the NAD. Exactly, the NAD seizing this opportunity. That's what we've seen on this track, haven't we?
Back in 20th.
You get a little bit of bumping and grinding, you got to take an opportunity. This also, it looks like the teammate, Remo, Schneider, could be also thinking about this.
Coming together there, that was close. Oh.
But we'll definitely have to go over to our race winner in a second. Let us know where he would probably be on the track there. Oh, wow. That's a very aggressive. Massively aggressive. That'll be one looked at for the stewards later on. We actually caught that on camera. Here's Robert. And why is that flashing? Because the race is over. Geoff has got it. I think. Yes, he has. Checkered flag. Geoff done it by about 7 seconds down the road there from Alex. And there's your Neil Crave to round that off the top 3 podiums for the final race there. Ian sneaks in that nice 4th position. And Robert, after he was very sweaty, got it done there, P5. Markov is back in the pit lane as your driver of the day, and I think will be voted as the driver of the day now, so I agree with you on that one. Gabriel, and then you got, there you go, so you can go through those results for us again.
All right, taking our P1 is Purkiss. Everitt taking P2, that's going to be great for his championship results. Crave in P3, Danae in P4, Robert in P5, Markov P6, Varga P7, Vlad in P8, Rostance in P9, Schneider P10, O'Shea moving up to P11. Great finish for him. Jagea in P12, Juhász P13, Panusa P14, Tatara P15, Labon P16, Anderson P17th, our local there, Santos in P18th, Santos in P19th. We have Lopez in P20th, Smith in P21, Locke in P22, Hobbs P23, Hevesi 24th, and I am too slow once again.
Now, let me pull up the results from the third match now because we're still showing the second race.
Team UK
there.
for the win. Yeah, Robert, that was a great drive for you there, Robert. Team UK, 1 through 5.
Yeah, are you sweaty even more now, Robert? Did you have a shower in between that last break between race 2 and race 3? Because I know you're sweating it out. I'm sweating it out right now. I had to put the third speed up on my fan just to try to cover off how this... I'm just reading a message saying, am I muted again? No, you're not muted. I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I
That's
sent that
earlier.
a few minutes ago. Yeah. I thought I was having some issues.
So I've always wondered if we're going to get some interviews and see anybody in the interview waiting room. But of course, we'd like a welcome to any of the interviews, of course, that we'd like to hear from any of our race winners today.
Yeah, it's great racing today. Really, really, really impressive.
I'm going to try to add the other race results too, so we can go through all of them. That's the race 3 that we're showing. I'm going to try to show you race 2 and then race 1. You know, I got the goodies. Apologize about that. I'll get this all set up properly. So that's your race 2 results that we had before.
Just a reminder of our podium results there. We had Rory O'Shea, we had Rostance, and Juhász in P3. See if we can get our race 1 results back up.
Of course we can right now.
There we go. We had Markov
on top
in
of the other one, but
P1.
I'll just increase it for you so you can read it.
Yeah, Markov in P1, Vlad in P2, and Dene in P3.
We do have a couple of drivers in the interview room, so would you like to bring in?
Whoever you want to go. Just go ahead and pull them in.
All right. We'll go up Stephen. So, Stevie, you are live. Hello, hello. How did you... I know that your third race. We won't talk about that too much. But first of all, let's go through your races real quick there. So, your first race result, P16. How did you find that one? Do you copy that, Stephen? Might not be hearing us.
Hello.
Hey,
Stephen.
There you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I dragged you, and I didn't know if you were thinking about an interview or not. My apologies. Do you want a quick interview while you're here or not?
Nope.
No, okay, that's fine. My apologies. I put the wrong person. I'll bring you back. He's gone. So we had somebody in the interview waiting room for a second. I did the wrong room. You see, I went down the pit lane and I grabbed somebody out of the garage accidentally. And they've got their helmet on saying, "Don't talk to me."
That was in there. I think I saw Robert.
Yeah, but if they're going to be in the waiting room if they want to chat to us, of course. If they don't. Robert's in there, you just drag him in. Robert, you are live on the air in the interview room. G'day, g'day.
Okay, that's fine. My apologies.
Hello.
And how was your race now? I'm just looking over all the different race results, Robert. So you've got P15 in that first race.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You got a bit bullied there.
All right. And then over to the second race results, Robert. You ended up finishing. Let's have a look at that one. Where is it? No, not in the top 20 at least on that one.
Yeah. Well, I think 14th or something. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, for the race 2? No, race 3, you mean, the third one?
Yeah, I started first, yeah.
Yeah, here's your third results, yep. So it was a lot better performance. You are overall happy? I mean, you got all the Brits in the top 5?
I was, second race, I was happy to keep Everitt behind me by the skin of my teeth. So I'm taking that as a positive in the second race. Third race was just stick with the fast people as close as I can, and then luckily people made mistakes because we're pushing on the limit, and if you miss your braking zone by like literally a centimetre, you're banging the person in front, and then that's 2 of you off, and that's how I benefited really.
Any questions there, Michael, for Robert? I mean, we didn't see many
Robert,
people. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's such a tight track, but we saw a lot of overtakes. was it more just people kind of going off track and taking advantage of that, or do you feel like you were able to really find some good spots? I know earlier you had said that the right-hander, the quick right was the best spot that you were seeing in practice. Did that kind of pan out during the race, or what would you say? What would you say would have been the feel of passing in the race?
So it came down to, like, with the confidence, after you come back straight, you got the chicane.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come into this like slight right-hander. Some people are braking, some people are lifting off, and that's where you're able to come into the final corner either on their right or on their left. And yeah, it's just down to confidence. And if your brake pedal's your best friend, you can overtake it. If not, you're going straight into the barrier.
Whoever's braking last without sliding off track, then. Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely saw some consistency from you at the end of that third race. That was a great result, especially that fight there towards the end.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I put my hands up. I was holding up Dini, and I know Dini is just so much quicker than me. So pulled off to one side. He caught the other guys, and he was fighting them, and I was able to catch up and overtake and stay behind him. So if you got someone faster behind you, let them go, and they'll slow down the pack in front of you, and it could work in your favour.
We saw that, didn't we? And good new qualifying position as well, too. So you qualified in P9, so it's about, almost half a second off Fraser's. Ridiculous.
I never thought I was going to go that fast. I did a 56.06. I was like, yep, we're going in faster. I'm going to sit in the front room, watch the live stream. I'm no way going to touch anywhere near that qualifying time.
That was a great qualifying time,
Yeah.
though.
So I think we'll let you go and wipe off a little sweat again, no doubt, after another sweaty race.
Pit stop F1 shower, yeah? Have a go on.
Thank you very much. So we got, I believe we got Alex in here, of course, the boss. Alex, yeah, overall your racing was pretty good. Would you like to give us a little bit of feedback about that? That's from the qualifying course. You qualified. Did you qualify, Mr. Alex? Wasn't it? Yeah, P10 actually.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, P10. not the best qualifying, I'd say, for you, but hey, you don't get points for qualifying, right? You get points for race results.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a tough track for the Hyundai and with weight. So coming into tonight's round with, I think it was 42 kilos, so 2 kilos for the Hyundai and 40 for myself. It was very difficult in practice, and I found myself 3, 4, 5 tenths off top pace. So it was a lot of, as you would say, bump and grinding to get to the front of the grid. Well, I say the front of the grid, up a few places. A tricky night, but I can be happy with the majority of the results tonight. In terms of the racing, it was a bit push and shove, but that's touring car racing, and that's what we get for choosing small tracks, eh?
It absolutely is. I can't wait until we go to the next track, of course, in Germany. That one looks exciting, but you finished in P5 in the first round. I'm just looking at the second round. You finished in P6, and of course, yeah, in the third and final round, P2. So always inside the top 10.
Yeah, that was very consistent.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Yeah, I think that's all I can say about that. It's not too bad at all, considering how difficult this track was to overtake on. I don't think I was the top points scorer of all the drivers. I think Ian Dini and Artem Makarov might have scored more points than me tonight, but still a good performance coming out tonight. And as we head to Norris Ring next, it's a much wider track. Granted, it's a short track, but it's a very wide track, so it's going to be a lot of side-by-side action, which is my preference, definitely.
And our driver of the day vote that we did go, obviously, it's again sponsored by, you said, who was it sponsored by again? My apologies. Apex Tracks, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Apex Tracks.
Apex Tracks.
Yeah.
It went to Voltov. What's his name? Sorry, my apologies. It's
Markov.
Sorry,
Makarov.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, there you go. We voted him. I agree that he did a great job. I mean, lost a couple of places towards the end on that one. He could have probably put himself.
Yeah, that was a heck of a fight between the two of you.
Yeah, breaking up that UK party in the top 6.
He did, yeah. He drove really, really great tonight. He won race 1, and race 2 he moved up quite a few places, and race 3 he moved up quite a few. Good night for him, and I think he needs a bit more luck. He had the odd race here and there where he didn't get the result he wanted, and he's lost a couple of points as a result. So I think tonight has really made up for that. He's a really good driver. He's learned a huge amount from last season, and he is a title contender right now. So it's good to see him up there.
Looking over
Yeah,
your
before
shoulders.
tonight,
So
that was
right.
what, fourth? He was in fourth place, I believe. And Tatara didn't seem to have the greatest night. So
Yeah.
Purkiss with that win on race 3, that's going to help him.
Yeah, absolutely. So see if he can carry it into the second half of the season. Tatara, not such a good night for him. I've had a few messages from him. There's a few drivers that have annoyed him. Let's just keep it polite and
yeah,
nice.
It's Vlad, Action Vlad. I've given him a new nickname because he's always battling with somebody on track. Always.
He is, yeah, he is. He's not afraid to get his nose stuck in. And to be fair, all of the Ukrainians, they're really, really good fun to race against. They're we had a special race a couple of years ago where it was about 12 or 13 British drivers against 12 or 13 Ukrainian drivers, and it was just mental. It was absolutely brilliant. So we love having them in the series here. They're great bunch of guys. Given what's going on in their country at the moment, it's quite heroic that they're finding the time and the mental strength to come racing. It's absolutely incredible right now.
Yeah, you need a break away from the day-to-day stress that unfortunately the country's enduring. So nothing like getting behind a wheel and relaxing and having some fun, because we got to have some fun even in dark times. And I do feel, just real quick, we only had one Norwegian driver on the grid, and I didn't think he had too much of a great day, did he? I can't really remember the driver's name right now, apologies, but didn't have a very good qualifying performance. I can't even show you on the screen because he was practically down the bottom. He's home track, and it just didn't quite pan out, I guess.
Yeah, Oyvind Andersen. He was a bit of a late entry into tonight. I think he saw it was his home track and thought, "Oh, I fancy a go at that." So he got himself in the vacant car. He finished 17th in race 3 there, so he got himself up the grid quite a bit throughout the night.
Yep.
So good job to him. Because it was a late entry, he probably didn't get much practice going into tonight. I know his home court, and he's should have the knowledge, but you're racing against a pretty decent group of drivers here. So hopefully we'll see him back and moving up the grid ever more in future races.
And how did you manage to get the best lap there with 42 kilograms of extra weight to your car?
In race 3, I didn't have 40 kilos. I think I had like 6 because it's based on qualifying. Okay. But that's why.
Fair enough. Makes perfect sense. Sorry to cut you off. You wanted to say something there, Michael?
Oh no, I was just gonna tag along on the Anderson thing. He showed just steady improvement all throughout the night. That was impressive that he could, because there are some very fast people in this lobby. Like one thing I've noticed from last week and this week, that there are some very fast drivers in this championship.
Absolutely. It's there's a couple of drivers from last season. They struggled last season. I'm not going to name who they were, but they did struggle last season. But this season they've come on leaps and bounds. A lot of the drivers. I would say there's every race we head into, you could probably name 8 drivers who have potential to win each race in this championship. It is quite something. It's quite stressful when you're in my shoes, driving and competing against these drivers. But you've got Geoff, who got his win tonight. His birthday yesterday, so that's a nice birthday present to him from me, letting him win there. You got Neil.
Letting him win. That's my next question.
Win with what, a 6-second lead or 4-second lead?
It's 4.6. Once you got past Nick, because it took a little bit to get past Nick and Lee there, that battle you guys were out. Once you got past, did you think you would have had enough time to catch and beat Geoff, or?
No, he was a bit too far ahead, and his pace is a bit too consistent. He didn't get much practice coming into tonight, but Geoff's a very quick learner. I've always referred to him as you guys might not quite understand this analogy here, but we refer to him as the Matt Neal of the grid. He's a very quick learner, and he's very difficult to overtake. So catching him would have been one thing, and passing him would have been another thing. So Geoff did what he needed to tonight to win that race, got himself to the front, and then that's all he needs to do. It was plain sailing for him from then on, clearly.
And just looking through the qualifying results, Geoff didn't even qualify inside the top 10, 20. So very impressive then at that case, isn't it? To take lead for the final, well, the win in the final race.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of help from the reverse grids, but you need a little bit of luck like that sometimes in touring car championships. So yeah, good job for Geoff. He got the points that he needs to out of that final race there.
So I can't wait for the Norrisring. Yeah, look at that. If you look at that track layout, I don't have a big picture of it, of course, but it's just long straights and tight corners. So overtaking opportunities. How are you feeling about that one, Alex?
Well, we're on that track. We're going to see our highest speeds. I think we're actually going to hit 6th gear on this track, which is a little bit different to some of the other tracks we've raced this season. Yeah, that and Watkins Glen are two of the fastest tracks on the calendar. So yeah, it's going to be nice and exciting. If you've got weight on the car for Norrisring, which will probably go to the likes of Makarov and Dini, they're in a bit of trouble on this track because it is just long straight hairpin, long straight hairpin. It's going to be very exciting. It's a nice wide street circuit with heavy braking zones, which means we're going to see a lot of dive bombs and side-by-side action.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting for next. That's 2 weeks from now. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We've got a week off next week.
The 25th,
much needed.
Right there. Yep, on the screen. So you give these drivers a bit of a breather. That's the halfway through almost just over the halfway through the season, of course. We're halfway now. And then the breather, and then we get ready for the business end, of course, all back to the UK. Alex, so any last shout-outs there? Of course, you do a fantastic job putting this league on there. Also, there's fantastic sponsors all the way down the bottom of the screen. You'll find them all in the channel here at Crest Autosport, of course, the Discord links and stuff like that. If you want to sign up, be a part of the family here and get ready for next season and all the other events. Alex, you want to shout out? Anything?
Yes, probably going to be a bit of a lengthy shout out because it's the only one I've done this season. But yeah, big shout out to our sponsors, Apex 603, 3D Wrap, and Co. Big thank you to you guys, Biggles, Mike. Thank you for presenting tonight's entertainment, and a big shout out to James Parfit Broadcasting for providing the overall service each week for us. And lastly, a big shout out to the drivers. They're a very good bunch of lads. It's the biggest grid we've ever had at Crest Autosport, so it's a privilege to run this league at the moment. But as we head into the second half of the season, long may the big grids continue and the great racing that we are mostly having. There's a couple of iffy moments, but yeah, overall it's great. It's great racing with these bunch of guys.
Thursday evening racing is where it's all at. Thank you very much, Alex. We'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks in Germany. So, Michael, would you like to wrap it all up there? Obviously, we'll show our fantastic sponsors, and then we'll go for a bit of a lay-down nap.
Yeah, I do want to thank our sponsors one more time: Apex Tracks, 3D Wraps, DigitalMotorsports.com, GP Box, 603 Autosport, Track Racer, and Esports Sim. I want to thank everybody for following us and joining tonight. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe. Click that like button, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you know when we go live. It is going to be the 25th of August when we're at the Norrisring. So it is a 2-week break, but as Alex said there, it definitely seems like a much-needed break, especially after this evening's tight racing. I want to go ahead and thank Biggles for joining me here today. I want to thank James for bringing us on here with James Parfit Broadcasting. And I want to just remind everybody that to stay safe, and thank you very much for joining us today. Was there anything you wanted to say, Biggles, before we go?
That's a wrap. Thank you very much.
All right. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you very much.